drives growth in British companies, particularly small and medium-sized companies? Well, one of the answers is it has to be digital technology, and particularly the use of the cloud. We're talking today to a number of smaller businesses about what their barriers to growth have been, what's helped them, and particularly focusing on this question of how the cloud and internet-based solutions can develop a business and help it grow. Right, well, welcome to the IOD, everybody. We know about how quickly the digital revolution took hold, but while Britain sort of leads on startups, where we can learn from other countries is on scale-ups. Where do the answers lie in terms of technology?
As the business world develops, it means that anybody can do their work in any place at any time with a common set of tools. And through that, build better working relationships, be more effective, better partner relationships, better customer relationships.
We interact with lots of suppliers who actually don't have the ability to do what we need infrastructure-wise, IT-wise. You know, if I'm a butcher and I'm passionate about butchery, then I'm not necessarily going to be interested in IT and the systems and processes that I, as a provider of a service, would want to buy into.
Once you come out of the major conurbations, the infrastructure is just not there. I mean, I think we've been waiting in Cambridge for superfast broadband for many years. Yeah. And if the wiring is not in place, if the plumbing's not there, then I think that's also holding businesses back.
If we take a step back into the last 20 years, really, we're living through exponential times in terms of the acceleration of adoption of technology, the use of technology as well. It just has to be what suits your customer. Yeah. And what technologies suit your end goal to how you serve your customers in a better way.
At Bono, we talk about people and platforms, because the other side of innovating in technology is not actually the technology, it's the people using the technology.
Is it government that gets it wrong in terms of sort of thinking it should foster everything and it should just be left to the market? I mean, that's a very IOD position, but is it right?
I think the position of government is to set the conditions of success, and I think some positive things around SES, the tax relief, certainly the encouragement about Tech City. What's not being addressed is that's not the whole economy, that's not where job creation is going to be.
I mean, Skyscanner must have destroyed jobs.
Well, lastminute.com before that, lastminute.com that I was involved with, has displaced the high street travel agent. But, the technology actually has to serve the customer. And actually what the customers wanted was convenient transparency, ease of ability to choose products that suited them.
The technology has to start with what's right for the consumer, not what's right for the technology. And a classic example for me is self-check-in. You always have, and whether it's at the airline or in a hotel, you always have somebody standing next to you to show you how to do it. How ridiculous. How ridiculous.
It was actually quite refreshing that everyone's mind seems to be in the same place, that we've kind of got new technology, but we need to think about how we use it. A few years ago, I think everyone thought there would be virtual customer service people in stores, you'd be doing everything online, there'd be digital screens all over the place, and that just hasn't happened.
It's like filling up your car at Tesco's, isn't it? You can stick your card in the machine, or you can go to the kiosk. I'd rather go to the kiosk and say, good morning.
With bringing the business from a regional to a national company size, it was the cloud that's enabled us to do that. So I thought it was quite nice to get involved in a discussion and hear from other businesses' perspectives as well.
And that's where we use the cloud, to be able to put a man in a van anywhere in the country, as long as they've got 4G or broadband, and them to be inclusive within our office.
I think the big message is that we must use technology to enhance our customer proposition and choice for consumers, rather than technology lead us into developing our growth plans. So making sure we have that in perspective, but making the right investments at the right time.
Can we ask about that confidentiality, security side of things? Where's the future on that?
There is a threat, but the threat is balanced by the amount of effort that's actually countering that threat. The reality, certainly for us with our unified communications, is it's quite a secure setup, and people shouldn't be worried. What's really important is to understand how different businesses see the use of the technology and how they can apply it, and where their gaps are. So we can take that back into the business and feed that back into our innovation and development cycles.
To me, one side of it is spend as much money as you can afford on the security, and the other one is put it with the best, put it with an industry leader who is spending as much money as is possible to keep your data safe.
Isn't that if you put it in the cloud though, that you're like putting it with everybody else, whereas if you've got it on your own individual server. So I suppose that's the fear of some people who don't really get it, is that I'd rather be in control of my own server than having it out there. So
it's amazing how many very large businesses run their data on very simple, even Excel database type packages with price sensitive information.
With that particular technology emphasis, any thoughts on where your businesses are going to be then?
I constantly get asked, well, where's the future of that business? Isn't cash going to be gone in a certain time? And yet, again, perception versus reality, there is more cash in distribution in the UK than there ever was. And so it comes back to providing consumers with choice. But where we can enhance technology is what we do at the ATM.
From my experience, hotels are actually very behind the curve. We now need to open our doors and say, here is the world that you're in. How can we help you experience it?
I think it's about future gazing for us, so not so much our customers' challenges now, but what will they be in 5 and 10 years.
The reason I was interested in coming to the discussion this morning is because it's always great to sit around with a group of people running businesses. We're a business-to-business digital agency, and so the more we understand about how businesses work, the better it is for us, because the better we can advise our clients.
Fran, your clients must cover a wide range of sectors.
Yes.
Are there any you'd pick out as the real growth areas?
I think if you look at some of the big professional services firms or very big, biggest companies, they're quite good at helping people talk to each other effectively. You have to keep ahead of the technology and then think, how can I use that bit of technology to make this bit of the process better?
So it's all basic stuff, but it's about bringing that to more people, so the smaller business, and making it simple, which is what we're trying to do. So we're trying to use that technology to make it easy for the butcher to use, much more sophisticated things which hitherto were only available to big corporations because they're the only guys who could afford the capex. So we're trying to do that, and increasingly we're trying to integrate stuff together.
Thank you all very much. I think we've covered a lot of very interesting ground. Many thanks.